I'm Jimmy Azanaro.
My name is Claudia Brower.
I'm Jessica Hewlett.
I'm Nika Jumalon.
I'm Taylor.
I'm Monique Sherman.
Our topic was high pharmaceutical prices, and basically the problem is that many people are unable to afford necessary medications due to the high pharmaceutical prices in the United States. This has led to many skipping or rationing their medicines, which can cause further problems down the road. The U.S. spends twice as much on prescription medications than other comparable nations. It also consumes less of some classes of medicine compared to other high-income countries, but spends more on those medications. For example, Americans consume nearly 25% fewer days of treatment worth of hypertension drugs than people in comparable countries. So it's not a phenomenon of greater utilization. You're spending more, but getting less. In the United States, patients spend approximately 80 to 100% more for the same drugs that they would in comparable countries. If you take a look at the graph on the right, you'll see the price of drugs in America compared to the price of drugs in Canada. Take the EpiPen, for example, $638 in the United States, but in Canada, $293.
Just some of the background continued is that 18% of adults reported skipping medications that are prescribed due to the high costs, compared to only 10% in Canada and about 2% in the United Kingdom. There is a huge body of literature that shows that the non-compliance does lead to poor health outcomes, so countries should be setting limits for prices by manufacturers if there is no comparable treatments currently on the market for a lower cost. The people most impacted by the high pharmaceutical prices are the people who actually pay cash for medications, and then the next to be impacted would be taxpayers and businesses. If the cost of medication does go up, that increase directly influences the cost of healthcare for individuals covered by Medicaid, Medicare, and other federally assisted programs, and federal employees. But the money to pay for those programs does not come from a magic money tree or a genie. It comes from money raised by taxes paid by individuals and businesses. So overall, the person most affected by pharmaceutical prices is the patient who did not fill their prescription due to the higher cost.
We're going to start by discussing the agency and organization that we found was best exemplified of high pharmaceutical prices, and that was Pfizer. Their mission and their purpose is very clear, that all people deserve to live healthy lives, and they plan on doing this by creating medical breakthroughs that change these patients' lives through their assets such as medicine and vaccines, to their financial investments, as well as their colleagues' expertise to help them strengthen health systems and improve overall access to quality healthcare services. A little bit of background on the company itself. It started in 1849 when Charles Pfizer and Charles Earnhardt founded the Charles Pfizer and Company in Brooklyn, New York, which was originally developed to help develop fine chemicals. In 1862, they began their first domestic production of tartaric acid and cream of tartar, which became very vital to the food and chemical industry. Later, in 1880, they started manufacturing citric acid using lemon and lime concentrates, and by the 50th anniversary in 1899, Pfizer was importing and exporting products all around the world, including camphor, borax, and iodine. By 1905, Emil Pfizer became the president of the company and was the last member of the family to be actively involved in the company. Ian Reed in 2010 became the CEO after holding many different positions in the company, especially his CFO position in Pfizer New Mexico and country manager position in Pfizer Brazil. Pfizer purchased back Braxton's portfolio of marketed vaccines in 2014, as well as merging with Hospira in 2015, which allowed them to expand their generic sterile injectables. Pfizer then collaborated in 2016 to expand their research in immuno-oncology with Watson for drug discovery. Later, they collaborated with Merck and Corning to enhance their storage and delivery of drugs. And today in 2020, Pfizer is the largest research-based pharmaceutical company in the world.
The leader we decided to cover is Albert Bourla. He is the current CEO of Pfizer and has been since January 2019. His mission statement is breakthroughs that change patients' lives, and he has worked with Pfizer for 27 years. He has a PhD in biotechnology of reproduction from Aristotle University of Thessaloniki in Greece. He began working with Pfizer in 1993 as their technical director of animal health division in Greece, as he has a doctorate in veterinary medicine. He moved through Pfizer's ranks over the years and has assumed a number of leadership positions with them. He has been very influential in some of their outreach programs in Europe, Africa, the Middle East, the Pacific, and Asia. And he's continued to climb their ranks until he's now reached CEO. He has worked specifically with consumer healthcare, inflammation immunology, and internal medicine, oncology, rare diseases, and vaccines.
The following covers just a few reasons why we chose Borla as the leader to highlight in this project, besides the fact that he is the CEO of Pfizer. First, he's a changemaker. On February 3rd, 2020, Borla revitalized the Pfizer's performance management system. In an article he wrote, he stated that, for decades, most business leaders have believed that experience running a P&L is the most important thing leaders can have on their resumes. But today, a new P&L is rising. This P&L marries performance with leadership. That's why we recently implemented a complete overhaul of Pfizer's performance management system. Our new Performance and Leadership Insights program is designed to measure, recognize, and reward both performance and leadership under the core values of courage, excellence, equity, and joy. Here, Borla noticed that too much focus on profit and loss, that's the P&L he was originally taking note of, decreases the company's overall performance. As such, he changed the company's attention to performance and leadership, the new P&L, and is rewarding Pfizer workers under this new strategy, which only helps to push the company's message of breakthroughs that change patients' lives forward. Next, he reinforces a clear goal. When asked about challenges faced in 2019, Borla said, "Of course, 2019 also brought its own challenges, most notably finding consensus on common sense solutions to help reduce out-of-pocket costs at the pharmacy counter. But while some might run or hide from such a challenge, at Pfizer it only reaffirms that our purpose, breakthroughs that change patients' lives, is worth fighting for." Here he continues to reinforce Pfizer's mission, making it clear to readers of this article that this is his end goal and he works towards this end goal each day. Furthermore, he discusses out-of-pocket costs at the pharmacy counter, which directly correlates with our issue of high pharmaceutical prices. He reaffirms that he is focused and committed to lowering the cost of out-of-pocket costs at the pharmacy counter for patients. Finally, he emphasizes teamwork, transparency, and optimism. In a recent interview conducted by NBC, Borla was asked about Pfizer's work in regards to the novel coronavirus. Most notably, he focused on two things: teamwork and transparency, and optimism. When discussing teamwork and transparency, Borla said, "We're making the tools we develop available on an open source platform. We want to share data and what we learn with the broader scientific community and other companies in real time so that all of us can get therapies and vaccines to patients." And when he discusses optimism, he says, "In recent years, we've seen huge medical breakthroughs, from cures of hepatitis C to cancer therapies that extend millions of lives to novel gene therapies that are seeking cure-life outcomes for some of the most devastating rare diseases. If we all commit together to working together, large pharma companies, smaller biotechs, government agencies, academics, there is no health challenge that we cannot overcome." Borla's encouragement of open source platforming shows that he is not only insistent on global collaboration, but also that he understands that he doesn't know everything. He wants to bring those who understand the nuances of this virus together and utilizes his position of leadership to do so in hopes of finding an efficient solution as soon as possible. Borla finalizing his interview with the statement, "There is no health challenge that we cannot overcome," shows that he is a forward-thinking leader. He knows that this is not a challenge to be overcome by him alone. Together, there is a greater fighting chance.
Dr. Borla is himself a veterinarian as well as a PhD in biotechnology of reproduction. He is using his philanthropic attitude to work with businesses to lower costs for the consumers. However, he seems to focus on the growing market of pharmaceuticals rather than the growing prices of pharmaceuticals.